welcome to Behind the Forge.
We got Corona.
Yay! It's great.
No, we've been away for nearly a week. We've just been in bed, having fever.
We watched like 4 seasons of Downton Abbey.
Finally got to watch that.
Yeah.
But we are here behind the forge. Back again. We're about to embark upon a new project. Finally.
I'm so excited about the next one.
1 week delayed again. This year is starting out real slow.
Yes.
But that's what it is. I hope we can just blast videos out.
Yes, that's what I want to do.
Yeah. We are gonna start talking about the Viking-ish small diorama and then the post-apocalyptic big diorama later. Let's just start out with the questions. Crafty Cami says, "This is epic. I love how the river and wreck look. Amazing. If or when you make another snowy project, will you still do as much details on the work if you know it may be covered up in the end?"
I think so, because we didn't know like what would be visible once we had put the snow on.
No.
So I always think it's better to do too much work as the groundwork, because then you don't have to feel bad if you don't feel like covering it up or it doesn't cover it up later.
Exactly, and you have more freedom at the later stage. You could do more interesting things because you already know you have an amazing groundwork.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it was a waste of time, to be honest.
No, I don't think so.
And also people underestimate how much is actually visible, because you can see all the stone and there's a lot of visible like stone and grass surfaces over here.
Yeah, you can kind of see it underneath the trees as well when you kind of really look into it. I'm glad we did it properly.
Yeah, I think so. Thanks for the question. Olivia Tanking says, "I've never seen that water highlight stuff used before, but it made an amazing texture on the water. What is that stuff?"
It's really just acrylic paint. Like, it's a really light gray acrylic paint. The main reason I got it was it's just nice to not have to mix the correct shade of gray. Because it's like, I don't know.
Because there's probably over 50 shades of gray.
But yeah, it's really just acrylic paint.
Yeah.
Like a light gray.
I think maybe you shouldn't misunderstand that the texture is actually made from the Mod Podge.
Yeah.
That is applied on top, and then the highlight stuff is just dry brushing the Mod Podge.
Yeah.
So the texture was already there, it's just making it visible.
Yeah.
Patty Schultz, "You accomplished your goal of making something look cold. I had no idea you could do so much with Mod Podge. Do you have any other Mod Podge uses to share?"
Yeah, Mod Podge is great, actually. We used the glass one to create those water effects. And I like to use the matte one for especially like foam projects. Like in this one, we used it as like the base for the painting, because it seals the foam. It makes it easier for the paint to stick to the foam, because if you paint the foam directly, it kind of just slides around and it's really weird.
Yeah.
And in the past, we also mixed Mod Podge with paint, like black paint, to make the base coat for the other paint, so we kind of have a two-in-one solution.
Yep.
Like a sealant and a base coat. So yeah, Mod Podge is great. And it's so many different types as well. I think we only use the glass one and the matte one, but there's like a whole range of different Mod Podges that I haven't even used before.
We'll have to look into the rest at some point. Alexis Garland, "Did you imagine any sort of narrative behind this design, or were the minis chosen and placed randomly?" The narrative is there is a stranded warrior traveler with his wolf companion, and they are looking for shelter.
Yes.
But they found this ice giant and now they have to fight him.
Yeah. And also the power crystal was kind of cool, so...
He's like guarding it, I guess. Yeah. Thanks for the question, Alexis. Moving on to Randy Blood. "Could you talk a bit about your 3D printer? What is the resolution it prints at? Are you happy with the detail of the prints? Do you think it would be suitable for 28 or 32mm scale miniatures?" Yeah, the resin printer is 4K. Resolution. It's actually has a very good resolution. Even though the print bed is quite large, I don't think it matters too much. The most important part is to choose like very small layer steps, and you will get very good prints at 28 and 32mm
I think
size.
This is 32mm models.
Yeah, they are. So yeah, it's absolutely usable for that. Personally, I am not super fond of doing the resin printing because I think it involves so much mess, and I don't like the chemicals, and I don't know, I think you have to be very patient and careful when doing it, because it's very easy to damage the printer, damage the resin tray, or spill resin on the screen. There's a lot of things to think about, but it's to me at least, or to us, it's kind of like an invaluable tool because it has so many uses. So yeah, as I've said before, I'm not super fond of doing it, but I love the result. So of course we're gonna do it. I think that was all for this diorama. So let's move over to the big boy, or do you want to have any closing words?
Yeah, I just have some like finishing thoughts. I think making the ice effect for the water was so much fun.
Actually, yes.
Like it was fairly simple, but I think the results look really good. I think the snow effect itself, it was really difficult laying down the snow because we didn't show this like in detail in the video, but the first layer we put down, I think the color from the grass kind of bled through to the snow and it made it a little bit yellow. So we had to keep like adding more and more layers to make it white again. And also it was super hard to make the snow stick because normally when I add things like gravel and grass and stuff, I just drip some Mod Podge on top to make it stick. But the thing with that here was it made the snow really clumpy and look super weird, so I couldn't do that. So I had to try to use like a matte finishing spray on top to try to make the snow lay flat, but then the snow just blows away when I tried to spray it. So it was really, I had to be super patient with layering the snow on top, and then adding the spray. And even now it's like, you can feel that it has a coating on top because you can move the snow around somehow. It's like, you can see it goes when you touch it. And it's kind of weird, but it stays in place, so.
I guess this is why you see a lot of these snow dioramas without much snow. It's mostly frost and ice.
I really wanted it to be snow and not just like the first frost of the winter, but like.
Yeah, because this looks like fresh snow, which is kind of nice, but it's a bit lumpy now.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's changed actually.
It looks more lumpy now than it did the first couple of days.
Should we move on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so to this.
The big boy.
Fantastic beast.
I think this is one of my favorite projects to date, and it was so much fun to work on.
Yeah, this was amazing, and what an absolute amount of work it was.
I mean, it didn't have to be, but
we just kept taking it one step further, and I'm sure we worked like 14 hours, at least 5-6 of the last days there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just to be able to finish it. It wasn't because we really had to, it wasn't because we enjoyed it so much. It was just fun to keep adding details.
I think we could have kept adding details for like 1 more week.
Yeah. Or 10,
yes.
to be honest. But we had help for painting a few of the miniatures from Arilla. She came here and she got like a workbench, sat there for a weekend and painted with us. And yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Painted some great miniatures. And so man, I am never building these kit models again. Which I'm saying now, but I'm most definitely gonna have to do that again at some point.
I mean, we have a few leftovers. So.
But oh my god, super glue on my hands. And nothing stuck, and luckily this was a post-apocalyptic diorama because I could make nothing straight. And yeah, that was just the worst part.
I mean, you have the section in hell where you make bricks and glue bricks, and then you have the other section where you put together the kits.
There was a lot of fun elements here though, and I really liked working on the domes. That was super fun to do the paint job on those.
The paint job turned out amazing.
Loved just using the airbrush and rubbing on that to get the bronze effect back, because it was a layer of bronze at the bottom. And yeah, you used some cornflake boxes for the buildings, which was also fun to do.
I mean, like, why not?
Free buildings.
Yeah.
So yeah, all in all, an amazingly fun project.
Yes.
Let's look at your questions. Chloe Laurent, incredible work, congratulations. I would have loved to have more details on the light job. How did you manage the electronics? Have you thought about hiding them since the beginning in one of the Kellogg's boxes? How did you choose your power source?
Good question.
Good question.
We didn't really cover that.
No, we didn't cover that because it's a usually boring segment for people who are just watching for entertainment purposes. Like, it's something we knew we had to do from the beginning. And I think it's also something we knew we would get away with not planning because we knew how to do it. So we didn't plan ahead for it, but the cardboard boxes are hollow, so it was very easy to add the electronics after the fact.
We just cut a hole like in the bottom so we could access everything from the inside.
Yeah. So we did that when the buildings were done, but not before we glued them in place. And there's wires coming from each building, and they just go around, like they come around on the back here. Same with these two buildings. And here we have like a battery pack with
It's like a 3-volt
AA batteries.
Yeah. And
one AA battery is 1.5 volts, so you combine them and you get 3 volts, which is the same that the filament LEDs use. So that makes it really convenient because you don't have to do any resistor magic, or you don't have to change the voltage between, different light sources. All of them use 3 volts, so we just connect them all in parallel and then you get lights.
Yeah.
And they're also wired through a button, so we can turn them on and off.
Yeah, so basically like the way we mounted them was we worked on just a single light at a time. So for example, the bar sign there just kind of poked holes through the buildings to thread them through. And the LED filaments are super fragile, like they break very easily. So we just made sure to like hot glue the wires in place so it wouldn't tug on them. And so every building is like its own unit, basically. So we just wired all the lights in one building in parallel. So there's just 1 or 2 wires coming out from each building, basically.
A side effect from adding the lights is that the filament LEDs, they cannot be cut. So when we just have these like 3 centimeter bars, they have a lot of excess on the inside. So a side effect of that, because the buildings are like hollow, and I'm not sure this was too visible on the video itself, is that you actually get the excess light spreading through the windows. So you get like the light in the windows as well, which adds to the effect.
Yeah.
Good question. And we are moving on. Jesse McKernan. This video seemed to have an extra professional level. I assume that was because of the sponsor. We're using different equipment. Also, can we talk about how Hansi was like, oh no, I have to paint, and then like just fucking kills it. Oh, and what will happen to the diorama? Do you all get to keep it, or does it go to the sponsor? Thanks for the
great paint job.
Compliment on the paint job. It was really fun, and did some experimentation though. So it wasn't the first like time I did it when I applied it on these. I had some failed prints that I tested it on to kind of get the effect right.
It turned out really good.
But it was really fun to do, and I had some help as well, like techniques and stuff, Martina.
Well, yeah, but you figured it out though.
As to the actual question, if we had any like boost in terms of video quality because of the sponsor, no, not really. This is just how we make videos. If you thought this looked better than usual, it's thank you, and it's because we have improved, I guess.
Yeah.
But nothing drastically different we did in this video that we usually do.
Not on purpose, at least. I mean, I guess it was because we had so much fun with the project.
Yeah.
That maybe it's shown through.
But from a technical perspective, it was done mostly the same.
Yeah.
The only thing is I bought a new lens for doing the final shots.
Yeah.
I'll get it, just a moment. Okay.
They're weird.
So this is a really funny lens, actually.
It's so weird, like it looks like a weapon or something.
This, if you can see, if you can believe, is a camera lens. It's called a probe lens. And the fun thing about this is I can actually stick it in the scene here, and you can get really deep and low, so it feels like you're on the ground. So you probably saw a few of the shots we took with this lens in the final result, especially the one that starts it all out when you're kind of seeing it through the narrow street.
It's really cool because you can really like get on ground level.
Yeah.
And feel like you're walking there.
It's amazingly fun to use.
I think this is gonna be just great for our dioramas.
Yeah.
Because it really feels like you're there.
Yeah, but other than that, if we get to keep the diorama, yes. As you can see, yes. When we do sponsors, we usually don't offer them the diorama unless it's something special.
Yeah, what they buy is basically like the video.
The ad segment.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question, Jesse. Moving on to Lilea. Apart from the crazy amount of details, what was the most challenging part? Seems like there's a lot of first times here, and if it's what was the most intimidating to make, if it's only the size or like the amount of work, or if there's something else. Anyway, you totally rocked it. Most challenging, assembling all the miniature things that I already complain about, for me at least.
I think the most challenging, was just composing everything, like figuring out how to simplify the buildings in such a way that they still look detailed and still look like they come from the game, while not making it too much work.
Yeah.
Because if you compare the wallpaper to what we actually have here, you can see that there's a lot less detail on the buildings, and the shapes have been simplified and everything. But you kind of have to do that when you're gonna make the miniatures, and it's kind of hard to decide, okay, what do I keep and what do I throw away?
Yeah.
I think that was the most challenging.
Basically, you have to convert the architectural ornaments into ornaments that can be made using matchsticks.
Exactly.
Which isn't everything.
No.
But the size definitely a challenge. We chose the size, so that was. But that's because it looks better when it's bigger, I guess.
Yeah, and also like I think one of the reasons we ended up with this size exactly was because we found so many kits in that 1:35 scale.
That's actually true.
So we tried to like make the buildings fit that scale, not the other way around.
Yep, I forgot that part.
Yeah, it was really fun.
That was the first thing we did. We went to the website to order miniature stuff, and we saw the scale, and we just made everything to that scale.
Yeah, but it was really fun trying to work on an actual like scale and try to make everything to that scale. That was something totally new.
Moving on then, Shanda Jones, how much goes into scale calculations before you start a project? Well, I guess you heard most of that now. Yeah. Usually we don't think too much about it.
Yeah, usually we try to like eyeball it.
Yeah.
Like for example, with the outline diorama we did in the past and like this, and basically every diorama we've done before this is like eyeballing. Okay, does it look very weird? No, okay, good.
Let's we try to be a bit more accurate here because it's a city, and when you have all these small models that are the same scale, it's gonna look weird if we have a huge car or something.
Yeah, and we use like a scale converter website where you can type in how large something is in real life, and it will just tell you like it will be this big in this scale.
You can also just divide.
Yeah, but I'm lazy and it's basically like a calculator.
Yeah, you can use a calculator as well.
Yes.
Caroline Quincy, awesome video, and the reveal shots were so realistic, it was incredible. My question is more of a general question for your videos. Is what type of camera and microphone do you use to shoot? Okay, a microphone. We use this Zoom recorder.
It looks like a crab.
Yeah. With two Sennheiser receivers, and we have two Sennheiser like lavalier microphones with transmitters on us. So that's what we use for audio.
Yep.
We also have a shotgun microphone, a Rode VideoMic Pro, I think, on the camera for backup audio and for syncing audio.
Yep.
Then we use a Canon R5 for recording. It's a bit of a high-end camera, I think, but it's not necessary to make good quality videos.
Definitely not.
We spent more time thinking about the lighting setup and the background lighting and things to be able to have good background separation and just in general good lighting.
Yeah.
I think that matters more than the actual camera quality. But yeah, that's what we use, but that's not what we've been using all the time.
No, definitely not. I remember like the camera we started with was this is super, it's so weird now, like it's so small compared to the one we have now. It's like a little baby camera.
The one we started out with?
Yeah.
The Sony A55.
Yeah, I don't remember
That was
right, yeah. And then we had the Panasonic GH5
yeah.
for a long time.
Basically our channel was built on that camera.
Yes, exactly.
And its time-lapse feature,
yeah,
that is really slow. And now we have the Canon R5, which has been amazing.
Yeah. I
think that's all the questions.
All right then.
All right.
What we have to do now is get healthy.
And then we can start cutting bricks, because you're gonna see a lot of bricks in the next project.
I have mixed feelings.
It's gonna be fine. It's
gonna be a lot of bricks, not just some bricks, a lot of bricks.
Yeah, I'm stoked actually.
I'm also stoked.
Really looking forward to showing you guys. Okay, so time to get working, I guess, or get healthy, or both.
Both.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna go turn off the recording. No.
Farewell, friends!